Hello everyone, what is up? It is me, Ewan from WhatCulture Gaming, joined as ever by Josh Brown.
Hello, Ewan.
Hi, because we have a bone to pick with the game we both bought over the weekend, didn't we?
I've never been more disappointed with a game in recent memory, Ewan. I was so looking forward to this. I'd saved it. I bought it on Tuesday when it came out, and I was looking forward to playing it all over the weekend. And I sat down
Long
Friday
bank
night.
holiday weekend.
Bank holiday weekend. And I thought, no, this has gone terribly, terribly, terribly wrong. But yeah, this is, of course, Mafia 2, the recent remaster, which has come out as part of the Mafia trilogy bundle. I'm pretty sure only 2 and 3 have been released so far, and the first, which is a proper remake of the first game, is coming out in August. And I'd heard rumblings that this wasn't a very good remaster before launch, but me, in my kind of naivete, thought, how bad could it be? It turns out it's pretty bad.
How bad could it be? How bad could it be?
Test and faith, essentially. This thing is just, from the moment one, like, it's a complete and utter disaster. I don't even know where to begin. I think the biggest problem is the frame rate, obviously, because it doesn't matter what you're doing in this game. If you're going over 10 miles per hour in a car, the frame rate just completely breaks and the game starts stuttering along and it's borderline unplayable. And you think, okay, maybe it's just kind of like the high octane sequences. That's how it works in other titles. If you get to an explosive set piece, sometimes the engine can't handle it. It's just everywhere here. It's just, if you're in your apartment and you look at a mirror, that's, for some reason, the worst part of the whole thing. Just walking around your apartment trying to pick up the phone is awful. It's gone awful. I don't want to be saying this.
Does your Vito as well do the thing where he just starts wigging around as you're walking normally? Anytime you try to walk normally, he starts like vibrating like he's gonna like phase through molecules or whatever. And yeah, no, the frame rate is definitely the worst issue that I've encountered so far. And it's a massive issue when you have car chase segments, so you have to do anything with a degree of speed because you could have a frame rate lag and then like drop frames or whatever. And bearing in mind, this actually drops to as low as 20 frames per second on PS4 and PS4 Pro, which are the two worst performing consoles. It does work better on PC and Xbox One, and especially Xbox One X. Digital Foundry did a really good video that they put up earlier, last week, about kind of basically comparing all the different versions of the remaster. But yeah, they basically performed their own tests and found that the PS4 version of the game, and the PS4 Pro especially, for whatever reason, the frames are just dropping like crazy. You cannot get to A to B on this map without just sacrificing something or another, and it's kind of emblematic of the other issues that we'll talk about in a few seconds, because it's not just a frame rate issue, or we've got texture pop-ins galore as well. It looks really, really bad. Some facial glitches, loads of different glitches that people have been picking up as well. But it's also a case, like, I feel as though this remaster, I don't even think it's fair to call it a remaster. I can definitely see the work that's been done on certain faces, and and certainly in brightening the contrast and making sure that there's, I think like the shadows stand out better or whatever. The faces do look much better. The hair and detail there look great. People actually have eyelashes now, which is very nice. But there are certain different things from the original version of Mafia 2 that are lost here. So there's no physics. So when you're actually like moving around as Vito and you've got an outfit with a coat on, that thing is just glued to your thighs. It will not move whatsoever, and it's a case of, this is one of the first remasters I've played. I mean, I know there was some controversy over the Return to Arkham remasters and how they kind of ruined the art style of the original of Arkham Asylum and City. But this one for me is the first remaster that I've ever picked up and gone, wow, this would have just performed. I would have been better off just like trying to resurrect my old deceased Xbox 360 and playing it on that.
Genuinely, right, there was a moment at the weekend, not only is this probably the worst remaster I've ever played, but it's the only time that I've genuinely considered trying to get a refund from Sony. I saw a bunch of people being really annoyed about it and kind of demanding the same thing, and I thought, maybe I should, because this is kind of unforgivable. Like you mentioned there, maybe just want to go back and play the older games and older consoles. I was even considering playing Mafia 2 on PlayStation Now, which is an unreliable stream, because that sounded better than what we have. Like you say, yeah, it's not just the frame rate. I could have put up with a bad frame rate in a few spots, but the fact that it's in every single level, like you said, at least for me so far, I'm up to chapter 14 at the moment, which is right at the end of the game. But yeah, that compounded with everything else. The fact that features are missing from the original game and what has been added isn't all that substantial. Yeah, there's better kind of character models, and sometimes the lighting looks great, but nothing that kind of justifies the cost. And it's almost amateurish the way it's been handled. The audio mixing especially, which is another major gripe of mine. That is one of the first things that'll like kind of draw your attention, because the discrepancy between cutscene audio and gameplay audio is crazy in terms of volume. You know, you'll be playing through the game at a nice volume, and then a cutscene
and
will
then
come
you just get shouting out of nowhere.
It'll just blow your speakers off. Genuinely, right? There were a few times where I booted this game up, the opening gunshot.
The opening gunshot literally scared me to death. I was playing through LA Noire Remastered the other week as well. Finally finished playing through that again, and the opening intro to that with the music and like the projector playing, that's really loud, especially. But this thing, I had it like turned all the way down to 8 on my TV, and it's still just. I was just like just chilling on my phone, loading it up, and then it was just like it was terrible.
I thought my neighbours were going to call the police or something, because I live in quite a dense apartment block. I honestly thought, I had the windows open, I thought maybe I will get a knock on the door. It's just stuff like that makes me wonder why they even bothered, you know what I mean? It's kind of indicative of the way they released and marketed it, because it was kind of this surprise announcement, and for me, I thought that's because they were kind of, you know, trying to do one of those essentially kind of album drops, essentially being like, look, Mafia 2 is real, it's available right now. But now I'm just pretty convinced that they knew how bad it was, and they wanted to just push it out with no marketing at all, and then move the focus onto Mafia 1, because Mafia 1 is the game that's being made by Hangar 13, who made Mafia 3, but this remaster was outsourced. It says right at the very beginning that it's to a completely different team, so they're responsible for it, but still, Hangar 13 and 2K should take some responsibility for, you know, putting their stamp of approval on this and shipping it as is, because at the moment, even at a discounted price of, I bought it for £25, it is nowhere near worth that, especially when you can get the original on other platforms. It is to me unforgivable, and it sucks because I love Mafia 2. I was looking so much to playing it, and for the first hour or so, I was kind of a bit apologetic for it. I was kind of, you know, saying, it's not too bad. I was talking to Scott about it. I was like, you can get over the issues, but as the game goes on and they don't get any better, and if anything, they get worse, and all the issues start mounting on top of each other, man, just like, do not buy this game. I rarely ever say this outright, but if you are buying this game now without the patch, I feel sorry for you, because that's the position we're in, and it sucks.
The thing with the development on it, I've kind of heard multiple views. I know that Hangar 13 were involved, but you mentioned that it was outsourced to a different studio. I think the outsourcing was literally only the artwork for this game. I still think this is mostly a Hangar 13 effort. You can correct me if I'm wrong on there. I don't know. I think also I've had like contrasting reports or whatever. And I have high hopes for Hangar 13. You know, Hayden Blackman kind of heads up the studio. He worked on Star Wars: The Force Unleashed. He was an old LucasArts fella. Really, really cool guy. Really like done loads of really cool stuff in terms of like not just video games, but comics as well, and he's basically, people in the industry refer to Hangar 13 as almost like a LucasArts 2.0, because so many different people from that studio are now working there. And I'm a big fan of Mafia 3 as well. I think the story is great. The gameplay itself, it's definitely repetitive, but once you can respect the craft and the dedication, the story, I feel as though it kind of overshadows the elements. But though Mafia 3 is well released in a pretty sorry state, and if this is mostly Hangar 13 as well, that's two strikes they have now for games that have come out in a not very great state. And I know that they'll be putting more effort into the remake, because it is a full remake from the ground up. But this isn't good enough, and it does fill me with a great deal of concern that, you know, they've put this out. Is this an issue with Take-Two or 2K? Do they think that they can just rush these games out to just cash in very quickly? Are Hangar 13 being kind of hamstrung by the restraints put in place or whatever? It's a very awkward situation. It's very upsetting, because it's clearly a very talented team that they have there. But currently, are 2K making the best of their abilities in terms of, let's make you remaster Mafia 2? And the other thing we forgot to mention as well completely is that apparently the update for Mafia 3, if you already own Mafia 3, it gets updated to the definitive edition. Apparently that's actually made it perform worse. So this is a absolute crap show if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, complete, a disaster. And like you said, whether or not it was, there are conflicting reports on how much was outsourced, how much was done by Hangar 13, but in a way that doesn't matter. This is two straight Mafia games, like you said. Mafia 3, again, I'm with you and I quite liked a lot of it at launch. I think the story's great, I think the gameplay is great. It's just the mission design and the performance issues, like you said. But that's two Mafia games that have performed very poorly out the gate, and it does suck because Hangar 13 obviously has a lot of talented people working there. They have a lot of interesting ideas that just don't get implemented implemented properly, and it's very in keeping with the Mafia brand, I think, all the way from its, from the first game right up till this release. It's always been a series that has great potential that always seems to be stifled by, whether it's people not kind of appreciating the fact that it has no side missions, or whether it's performance issues and stuff like that, or whether it's the driving mission from Mafia 1. It's a series that's always been marred by these problems, and I just want it to get better, and I thought this remaster would have been that confident step forward of, look, these have been the games that you've been missing out on. This is them firing on all cylinders. They play well, they look good. Even if they're not a total remake, they could have still, Mafia 2, 10 years on, is still a pretty good looking game. It's got a lot of features that make it stand out. They could have added just a bit to it to make it pop, but they didn't. And I can't even play the game because it's more or less broken. I didn't even touch on some of the features, and I'm playing it on hard mode, right? Sometimes it just spawns you in levels.
It's already a right.
It is. It's already completely cheap. It's awful. Sometimes it just spawns you into cover when a mission starts, and then you just get shot by people that you can't see, or the cover doesn't work. It's these kind of gameplay issues on top of general performance issues that have made it a total slog, and I love this game. I was getting ready to come on camera right now after a weekend of having a love affair with it, trying to sing its praises and trying to convert the masses who didn't give it a chance 10 years ago to give it a go now, but I can't. I can't because it's bad, and it makes me worried about Mafia 1, the total remake, because I was looking forward to that as much as I was looking forward to these.
Yeah, I completely agree. I hope we don't have silence from 2K and Hangar 13 for too long, because this is like one of the most, this is a terrible, in terms of like out the gate, bad video game release. This is up there with some of the worst that I've ever encountered. And the fact that I paid money for this thing, that makes it all the worse, because that's the thing. It's like, it's just, oh god. Usually I passively absorb the video game controversies, like Mass Effect Andromeda. I didn't get that. I feel sorry for everyone who's had to deal with them. Anthem, I didn't get that either. This has happened to me now, Josh Brown. This has happened to me. But yeah, please let us know what you think of Mafia 2 Remastered down in the comments below. And also if you picked up Mafia 3 Definitive Edition too, because we've heard all sorts of bad things about that. And let us know if you're still looking forward to the Mafia 1 remake in light of all that has gone on with this remaster. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. It's a Tuesday. It's Monday, Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and head back over to whatculture.com/gaming for more news, lists, and articles like this every single day. You can follow me on Twitter at YourMarine and you can follow Josh Brown on Twitter at
Josh Brown with 2 O's.
And we'll see you next time. I'm so incandescently full of rage that I can't talk. That's what's going on right now.
It's fine. It's a Monday, Tuesday. It's that classic Monday, Tuesday rage. You know what I mean?
Lousy, smarch weather is all I'll say. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.